Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a long time since I made a video for you, but we're back, and Season 10 just started, so let's talk about what we've seen in the meta so far. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It has been a crazy week of Overwatch with the release of the new map and the Hanzo changes. Rialto is absolutely stunning and will be an interesting new addition to the game with its many narrow corridors and unique sightlines. Hanzo has also been updated and his new kit seems to flow really well with the current state of the game. Season 10 started off pretty well for me. I went 6-3-1 in my placements, and that put me 70 SR above my end last season. Just like everyone suspected, Brigitte is probably going to be the most picked character this season. Brigitte is proving to be a very strong off-tank, with many choosing to even pick up Zen and Moira for a little bit of extra sustain. I have really been enjoying Brigitte as she plays almost exactly like a tank. Everyone seems to think that she's really overpowered right now, but really, she has her weaknesses. I do really expect some nerfs to come her way, and that's mostly before she hits the OWL. I think they're really going to try and push that balance level for her. But calling her overpowered right now feels a little bit short of the truth, as most teams in a lot of situations are going to have a Brigitte anyway. My only problem with Brigitte personally is that her shield bash is more reliable than McCree's flashbang, and it's on a shorter cooldown. Maybe we're looking at a McCree update in the future? Who knows? But I get that she's supposed to be the anti-flank support, and interestingly though, she's really just become the off-tank. She pushes in with the tanks, she fights with the tanks, and it's really heavily frontline focused instead of being the backline counter-flanker that everybody thought she was going to be. However, I do think that Blizzard tinkering with these ideas is going to be a really good change in the overall game. To me, the early stages of Season 10, it feels like the current meta is continuous swapping. It feels like every time somebody fails a push, they're coming back with something different to try and stir up a counter. I know that I personally was changing my tank picks up a lot to deal with the different threats the enemy team had, and it really feels like counter the counter is the current meta. Now I know what you're thinking. That's what you're always supposed to do, which I completely agree. You should always have dynamic picks that help your team out and generate that advantage for you. But it seems to be happening a lot more for some reason at the start of this season. The really obvious change this season is the release of Brigitte. She's a whole new character with a totally different playstyle that a lot of people are really starting to enjoy. But also, there was a bunch of balance changes that happened right before the season that are definitely worth going over. Reaper got a buff to his Wraith form, which in my opinion made him one of the best duelists in the game. Mei became a CC powerhouse, with the buff to her left click being able to freeze more than one person. And lastly, D.Va was hit really hard when they nerfed her micro missiles damage. With these changes specifically, I've seen it very reflected in their pick rates. I've been seeing a lot more Reaper and Mei and a lot less D.Va. These changes are really a huge indirect buff to a sleeper overpowered character right now. When you nerf D.Va, you buff Mei and Reaper, and then you release a character with no range capabilities, your Pharah sense should be tingling. Especially with Brigitte being in the meta heavily right now, you're seeing a lot of Rein because he works really well with her, and Junkrat has not fallen out of favor yet, so Pharah should be able to remain fairly uncontested in the skies and command a huge impact on the game, forcing swaps to hit scan characters. As most of you know, I mostly play tank, and for me this season I've really been liking Winston for his ability to dive onto the back line. I used to play a ton of D.Va to do this, but her damage nerfs have made Winston feel like he's in a much better spot. Another bonus is Winston can tickle cannon through Rein and Brigitte's shields, which you know you're going to be playing against a lot. Hog and Orisa have been my situational picks, Hog being picked if I need more damage, and Orisa if I need more defense. All the tanks right now feel pretty solid except for D.Va, as long as you're picking them in the right situations. Lastly, there were the Hanzo changes, which I very much like. As we all know, Hanzo is able to do an insane amount of damage, and his ability to insta-give was taken away, but Storm Arrow feels like a really great replacement that can still put out massive damage. Having more frequent Sonic Arrows also feels almost borderline overpowered because vision is such a huge part of the game. I'm hopeful that this will change the community's perspective of Hanzo players to not being skillless or trolls. It feels like his air dash was a really needed mechanic that he can use in a lot of situations and instantly makes him not the automatic Doomfist ult target. Overall, the Hanzo changes make him feel a bit stronger as a pick, as it's updated his kit to be more viable in the current meta. Thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment. I stream every week on Twitch and play with my viewers, so feel free to drop a follow there. Follow my Twitter or Instagram for updates about streams and videos. I also have a very active Discord server. Links to everything will be down below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.